The goal of competition is to see who is the best of the best. But what if some people have an unfair advantage? I recently listened to a podcast with Duty Chen. She is an Indian sprinter who was banned from competing in the Commonwealth Games in 2014. Her defiance has led to activists from around the world coming together to advocate for equality in sports. World-class athletes have been disqualified from competing at the highest level due to inconclusive gender testing. In a world of equality and inclusion, changes need to be made to allow these athletes to compete at the highest level. There's no such thing as a definitive test in sports. The International Amateur Athletic Federation, in 1946, subjected female athletes to the nude parade. This then gave way to chromosome testing, and they now use hormone testing based on a set standard level of testosterone. In 1946, the IAAF introduced the first rule which required a medical document that certified the female sex of the athlete, and 2 years later, the International Olympic Committee followed suit. In 1936, Avery Brundage, the United States Olympic Committee president, feared that British shot putter and javelin thrower Mary Louise Edith Weston and Czechoslovakian runner Zdenka Kublikova were threatening the future of female athletics, per Eager 2017. Both Weston and Kublikova, after their athletic careers, they had surgery to identify as their preferred gender, which was male. When the Olympics resumed in 1946, after World War II, the IOC implemented a new policy which required each nation to assemble their own team of physicians to perform invasive, intrusive, physical examinations of all the female athletes' genitalia. Each nation was allowed to form their own definition of femininity, so the results still varied from nation to nation. This practice continued for 20 years until the International Amateur Athletic Federation implemented a new body bar test. This body bar test was a chromosome test, and the single presence of a Y chromosome immediately disqualified the female athlete. The test typically involved an evaluation by gynecologists, endocrinologists, psychologists, and internal medicine specialists. Sometimes they would also do blood tests to determine hormones, genes, and chromosomes. The first athlete to fail this new test was Ewa Klubakowska, a sprinter from Poland. Her initial appeal was rejected, but her case became very confusing when she gave birth in 1968. Women usually have two X chromosomes, and men have an X and a Y chromosome. However, other combinations are possible, and that's referred to as intersex. These tests did not consider an XXY or an XO chromosome option. This chromosome-based testing was discontinued in 1992 because at this time they started doping tests, and the doping tests were also able to monitor gender. Notable world-class athletes have been disqualified for being intersex. In 2009, Caster Semenya, a sprinter, won the 800 meters at the World Athletics Championships in Germany, and the media immediately rose suspicion because she had very masculine characteristics and she had masculine features. After testing, it was determined that she was indeed a hermaphrodite and male and female sexual characteristics. In 2011, the IAAF set a new threshold, and any female above that testosterone threshold was deemed too masculine and was required to have surgery to remove their gonads to chemically lower their testosterone levels. More recently, Duty Chand was banned from the 2014 Commonwealth Games due to an abnormally high testosterone level. This increased testosterone level is known as hyperandrogenism, and athletes have two options: quit or have surgery and undergo long-term hormone treatment to lower their androgen levels. However, Chand found a third option. She said, "What I have is natural. I have not doped. I don't deserve the ban, and this should never happen to another girl." The IOC was given 2 years to find further evidence to support their ban, and in the meantime was forced to suspend any further hormone testing. Chand and other hyperandrogenic female athletes were allowed to compete at the 2016 Rio Olympics without having to lower their testosterone levels. In conclusion, gender testing has progressed over the years and has become less invasive and less intrusive than the nude parade, but the chromosome testing and the hormone testing still leave room for error, and with the way society is changing, there will never be a black and white to qualifications. The initial nude parade was crude and degrading, according to British pentathlete Mary Peters. The physical examinations gave way to chromosome testing, which was less intrusive, and the hormone testing is as easy as a blood test. But the gender testing has still forced women out of sports and turned their lives sideways. Women who are also athletes live their whole lives as females, have had their careers ended for reasons that are out of their control.